What's up, everybody? Welcome back again. I know you'll notice I ain't on the Fury today. I'm gonna touch on that in just a second. So part of the reason I'm not on the Fury today is because I lent it to my old man, which actually leads to the topic of today's video that I wanted to talk about. His bike unfortunately got hit. He's fine. He wasn't on it when it happened, but it bent up the handlebars. It messed with the shifter and the lever, and so until we get all that fixed, it's unrideable right now, unfortunately. So he's borrowing that. So I'm out here on the FJR today. But the whole thing that got me thinking about this video is I had a friend of mine go down the other day on a motorcycle. Yeah, not fun, man. It's not fun no matter what. Truth be told, going down on a bike is terrifying. For those of you that haven't gone down, don't think you won't. There's a good chance that you will. They always say two types of riders. I've probably said it in a couple of my videos. Those that have been down and those that are going down, and that's it. We're going to turn here because I want to. If you ever think that you're not going down, don't ever think like that, because when you don't think you're going to go down, that's when you end up going down. I ended up going down, and unfortunately, so did my buddy. And I mean, he got lucky. He's okay. I don't know where this leads to. Oh, this leads to the Red City neighborhood, I think. Yeah, it's Speed Limit 25. No, we're turning around. I don't want to be in no Red City neighborhood where I gotta be quiet and behave and check for gray poupon. Audi 5000. I'm gonna go left here. We're going on this way. Or of course there's a school bus. Or was a... He's okay though. He got a little bit of road rash, which isn't fun. I had it myself when I went down. He ended up doing what a lot of us do and caught some gravel, same as I did, round a curve. He went off the road into some nice soft grass, which is preferable considering when I did it, I went down on the concrete and slid for about 30 feet. That's not what I'm here to talk about though, because everyone talks about how to avoid accidents, what causes them and all that good stuff. What got me thinking is the same old rule, man, I used to have back when I first started learning how to drive a car. And like this, what do you do after the accident? I mean, no one ever talks about that stuff. How do you handle it? What do you do? What needs to be done? Yeah. And for a lot of people that haven't had to deal with that stuff before, that's what I'm here to try and answer to the best of my lack of abilities. My thing is, after you've gone down on the bike, first thing you need to do, number one, before you do anything else, number one, assess yourself. Forget about the bike. Make sure you're okay. Obviously, sometimes you're going to walk away okay, sometimes you're not going to walk away okay. You need to be able to assess that. In mine and my buddy's case, we both got up a little bit of road rash. Okay, then you move on to the second thing, which is check out the bike. See what the damage has done to the bike. I got up from mine. My handlebars were a little bent, not bad. I actually was able to rotate them back into position because they were bent up here where they're mounted, so it wasn't nothing horrible. In my buddy's case, it bent his mirror back, prevented him from turning the motorcycle, which meant it was no longer drivable. If your bike is not drivable, do not get on it, okay? Luckily for him, he was able to bend that back to the point to where he was able to make it drive with the help of someone that was nearby. The guy was cool and helped him out. In which case, he got the bike able to drive, or able to ride again, and was able to get it home. In the other case where you are not able to do anything, where you are injured to the point, do whatever you can to get anyone's attention. If you're able to scream. If you're able to crawl to the road, do what you can without further hurting yourself, obviously. Just whatever if you got to sit there and rev your engine, hit the horn on your bike. Very rarely does the horn ever break on a motorcycle. Use that. Use whatever you can to get attention and get yourself help. Now on to the one that really got me a little bit triggered on this video. And that is Unfortunately, I wasn't with my buddy when his accident happened. And he sent me a message to call him that something had happened. Yeah, he's a good rider, so I really didn't think much of it. But when my friend tells me to call him something happened, I'm going to call and figure out. Well, he ended up telling me that was when he laid down his bike. And my first words, obviously, out of my mouth is, man, are you okay? How are you doing? I don't care about the bike at all then. I told him, because the next words out of his mouth are words that I never want to hear out of anybody's mouth about someone that has gone down or someone that they themselves went down. And he told me, man, so I would have called you right away and let you know and called you to come help me, but I was too embarrassed. Never, ever be embarrassed about laying your bike down. You get up from that bike, make sure you're okay. If you're okay, make sure the bike's okay. Do what you got to do to get help if you need any. Never feel embarrassed about it. I'd have to look up the statistic, but I'd have to guess somewhere in the neighborhood of 80% of bikers have gone down. And trust me, I've personally seen some stupid reasons that bikers have gone down. Gravel in the road, something like that. Never be embarrassed about that. I'm directing this right at my buddy. Never be embarrassed about that, man. Because I want to know. If you go down, I want to know. I want to be there to help you if I need to, man. It's like if I got to tow your bike home, if I got to rush you to the hospital, whatever I got to do. If you go down and you're able to get a hold of me, get a hold of me. I will drop what I'm doing. And if I can't drop what I'm doing, I will find somebody to get there to you that I count on, no matter what. I forgot what else I was going to say now. And lastly, my last big point, if you do get in an accident of some kind on a bike, which I pray no one ever does, nobody ever wants that, if you're able to, get back on a bike as soon as possible. Don't let that fear control you. When I got in my accident, and the same thing with my buddy, he was able to get his and he got right back on it. Didn't let that fear shake him. When I went down on mine, I can personally tell you, I was friggin' terrified. It wasn't a high-speed crash. It wasn't nothing real bad, but it still scared the crap out of me. I made sure that I got right back on that bike, finished what I was doing, and went to where I needed to be. You definitely can't let that fear control you at all. Once you got all that settled down, then you worry about the insurance and all that. I've had to go through that. Insurance with the bike really isn't that bad. I mean, luckily for me, it was in a parking lot, so I didn't have to pay nothing. Dude, is he really going to leave that right there? I don't know. Hope not. I've seen where I've come up on stuff where people didn't get to walk away from bike accidents, and it's a horrible sight. It's a horrible thing. But if you're able to walk away from it, don't ever be embarrassed. Not everyone even gets that chance to walk away from an accident. And don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. It can happen to anybody for a number of reasons. All you can do is do what you can to try and avoid it. And like I said, there's plenty of videos that cover that. That's not what we're here for. We're here to deal with the aftermath. And after you go down, make sure you get back on that bike, man. If you are absolutely terrified to the point where it's just going to be a bigger risk, I mean, don't get on the bike then, obviously. But if you still have that urge that you want to get back on the bike, get on there. Start slow. Start from ground zero. Go back into a parking lot and practice until you feel comfortable to get back on the bike. Go into a parking lot and practice till you feel comfortable to get back on riding on the streets. If you get in an accident and you're still scared as hell to get back out there, don't let nobody push you back into it. Go at your pace and do what you got to do. I don't ever want to see anyone stop riding, man. I got into riding. I absolutely love it. I cannot picture my life without being able to ride a bike. It sucks every friggin' winter, I tell you. I mean, when I got in my first car accident, I was probably 13 years old when I got in my first car accident, barely had my permit. And it shook me. It wasn't nothing bad, but it shook me. That's the important thing, is you got to get over that shake that it gives you. My old man looked at me and gave me some of the best advice I've ever heard in my life. Get back in there. Don't let that fear control you. I live by that. And as after any accident, that's what I do. I get right back in there. If I were to lay a bike down to the point where it's unrideable, I would call up one of my many friends that ride and just tell them, hey, I need to borrow a bike. I was in an accident. I need to get back on this. I am not going to let this fear sink in. I say take your time, but just remember, the longer you let that fear sit in, the harder it's going to be to overcome. I know people that let that fear sink in so deep, they never did it again, period. I know people that have been in drowning accidents, never set foot in a pool, lake, anything ever again, because they let that fear take hold of them. That's why I say, assess the situation, make sure you're good, then worry about the bike, then get back on there. Don't let that fear consume you of that bike. Old man waving at me, man. He liked the rocket. Touring bike, my bad, not a rocket. I personally know someone that one of the first times on a bike, they wrecked it and wanted nothing to do with it after that. Me and Torque worked with them on a different bike. They would not get back on a cruiser, and okay, that's okay. That is okay, because you get a little PTSD that triggers that. That's fine. We got them on a rocket and started working with them. It definitely took a minute because the fear sank in. And don't ever feel ashamed if that fear did sink in. The important part is overcoming it, which they did. They overcame it, and they will ride now. I mean, I don't know. That's just my little rant. When my buddy told me that he was ashamed that he laid down his bike and didn't want to call me because he was too ashamed that he did it, it sets me up. I'd rather be there for you. I ain't gonna judge you for laying down your bike. Well, except for Spartan, he did get taken out at 2 miles an hour by a miniature chihuahua, which was just kind of funny. I will make fun of him for that. But the important part is you get up, dust yourself off, and get riding again. I've definitely been in some sketchy situations, we'll say. And I'm the type of person, I think about what ifs a lot. I think about what ifs all the time. What if I hit a piece of gravel right now and my bike slides out? What am I gonna do? But I go a step further just because I'm really weird. And I think about what's gonna happen after that. I mean, I'll even go so far as to say, if you do get in an accident, because there's been a lot of them where people made it, but were never able to ride again. And, you know, I mean, that happens. That's a reality that we face. Excuse me, Mr. Bus. Even at that, I mean, you just can't let it defeat you. You might not be able to get out and ride again, but don't let it defeat you. Never, ever let it defeat you. I had a friend in college that he was riding long before I was. And he had a passion for it. He got in an accident where a truck ran a stop sign and took his leg out. He was fighting to keep his leg, but they told him no matter what, you'll never have the strength to hold a bike up again. Ever. He didn't let that beat him. I'll tell you right now. First thing he did is, all right, I want to know if I'm keeping my leg or not. So either way, that doesn't really matter, though, because I'm getting another bike. He couldn't ride a two-wheel bike anymore. Key word, two. He went and he's, you know what? I'm getting me a trike. I ain't gonna let this beat me. I want to ride, I'm still gonna ride. Stuff happens, don't let it beat you. That's the message today, folks. A little bit more serious than usual, but I just had to get that out there and get that off my chest. Because short of being a quadriplegic, I will find a way to ride. And even if that happens, you can bet money that I am still gonna be involved with bikes somehow, some way. I'll rig up a side cart to one of my buddy's bikes and tell him, take me for a ride. I want to ride. Don't care. I've faced a lot of different stuff in my life, and a lot of it's beaten me down. It's messed with my head a lot, but it ain't never defeated me. 100% has not defeated me, because I am still here, still doing the stuff I love, still riding my baby, still going slow around turns. Da, 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 da. Use your turn signal. It'll let me know that you're going straight. La da da da, blinky blink. That's all for today, though. I know it's kind of a shorter one. I had to get that off my chest. I hope someone pulled something away from that. A little bit more serious than what I usually do. It happens, though. God dang, man, this is nice. Got some fun curves. That's all for today, though. End of my little rant. Hope somebody got something. Till the next time, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, hit the gremlin bell up in the corner there. Get alerted to new stuff every single week. Till then, 0 out.